Hey guys, it's your girl Ree.
And your girl Lady G, and you're now tuned into the Ree and Lady G Show. So we just want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers all around the world, and Happy Mother's Day to myself too.
Happy Mother's Day, girl.
It's still so surreal to me, but it's a great feeling, and it's a crazy feeling because I have a toddler, so
I can't believe you are a mother.
I be on the phone with Chef Ree, trying to get the baby, stop the baby from eating stuff off the floor. Yeah, it's a whole lifestyle, but I wouldn't change any of that for the world. In light of Mother's Day, I have created my very own Mama's Homemade Sangria. Just want to give a tip for anybody who's going to be making this for the first time. Soak your fruit the night before. I didn't get a chance to do that, but I have done it before, and it definitely adds so much bursting flavor to the drink. Now, the basis of this drink is brandy, and I'm not even going to lie. I am a bartender, but I didn't even know that. Brandy, and I have the apple version. And we have Canada Dry soda. We have two different types of wine. You can use Moscato, you can use Pinot Grigio, Sauvignon Blanc. I don't say that pretty well, but now the next ingredient is supposed to be peach snaps, but I switched it up a little bit this week to cut costs and just to add a little more flavor, and we did the peach Minute Maid. Shout out to Minute Maid. We use them pretty much on the show, a lot. So those are the details for the drink this week.
Yes, and I decided to create Cajun chicken Alfredo pasta. Really, you'll see that the recipe is pretty easy, and that is why I decided to create it, because for all the mamas out there, this is a quick, easy recipe that really you can just cook using one pot. I use multiple because I was trying to be quick. But you guys can use one pot to make this. It's simple, very easy, and I hope you guys enjoy it. One thing that I will say as a tip is with the Alfredo sauce, just make sure that that fire is not too high, because then the cheese will separate from the Alfredo. That is my number one tip when making this. And just make sure that the water is hot before you drop that pasta in there. So you'll see that I did that, but enjoy. Just enjoy it, and let me know how you like it. Make sure you drop comments below. I want to know how you guys like this recipe, and if you do anything different, please let me know. Guys, this is the Cajun chicken pasta. Now it smells just really, really good. I'm like dying over here.
I hate waiting to eat.
She's acting like it's torture, but nonetheless, pretty much I prepared it with red peppers, green peppers, yellow peppers. Now y'all don't need all them peppers, but I like mine to look colorful.
Yes, y'all do.
I like mine to look colorful,
yes,
so you know, I put all those colors in there because Cajun chicken pasta, I mean, you know. And then it's red onions in there, green onions for flavor. All the seasonings will, you know, pretty much boost the flavor. If you have any other seasonings that you'd like to add to it, I always recommend that you guys do.
Do not stay away from this recipe, please.
And then of course the Alfredo pasta the Alfredo sauce that I made from scratch. So it's all combined together, and then it made Cajun chicken pasta. So I hope you guys like it. Now I'm hungry, so
yes, girl, get your first bite. Nonetheless, this week, of course, we have to talk about all the great mothers, all the bad mothers, if that's even a such thing, and parenting skills overall. Now, Chef Ree has also been wanting to ask me this question. I've been making her hold out. Every time she asks me a question, I'm like, we gotta talk about that on the show.
I hate it.
How's the food?
It's really good. Maybe because I'm starving, but you know.
She's the biggest food critic, so.
It's good, guys. Oh, I'm about to die. Don't steer away.
Don't steer away from the recipe.
See, she be wanting me to eat all the time, and that's why I don't.
Cause she has to eat so cute. Like she'll be like she's so afraid she's so afraid to eat on camera. But guys, let's get into these topics that we have for this week.
Yes.
So we want to know what you think, Chef Ree, as a non-parent. What do you think a good parent is?
I think a good parent. Well, I can go based off my parent, my mom. I think a parent first and foremost is a role model. Like that should be the role model. No one else but your parents. You know, I feel like People rely on social media. People rely on all these different things. But one thing about my mom that I would say, shout out to you, girl. I love you. One thing that I would say, about my mom is that she's an amazing role model. She works very hard. She's ambitious. She never stopped going to school. She's still in school. Got degree on degree, house on house. You on my rock. And, for that, I would like my children to see me as, that mom to them. So it's a good example, good role model. That's first and foremost. And I think that embodies everything.
Well, for me, I think, first of all, what I will say is I was such a hypocrite before I was a parent about how I think a mother should be and how I think a mother should act. And honestly, it's no storybook to it. You learn as you go and you learn as you grow. So you kind of got to take time to figure out your flow with it all. Like me, I don't have it all together. My baby's probably bumped her head 50 million times at this point. I'm still trying to get it together, but it's all about taking the time to want to be the best parent you can be. That's what makes you a good parent to me.
So let me ask you this question. What are some do's and don'ts for parenthood that you would like to share?
I'm glad you say that. I don't feel it's to each his own, because how I would raise my kids and things to each his own. But what I will say, one big don't is I don't do spending the night out. I don't have time for the things that can occur.
Our parents never allowed that.
When my child is out. So that's not something that I do. I don't agree with it at all. It's not going to happen, and that's just that.
I mean, nor did our parents allow us to just be sleeping over other people's houses. Like, I promise you, she was allowed to sleep by my house. I was allowed
by
to
the grace of God and the skin of my teeth.
Seriously. And it was like after all these different conversations, but none of that our parents had.
Right, they had to have meetings to get to that point.
Literally, church goings, all that, before they got to that point. But
exactly.
I was allowed to sleep there. She was allowed to sleep, by my house. So that was one thing I'd say is one thing that I would like to carry over,
Yeah, no spending the night all over the place.
Yes.
We have a lot more tea for you guys, but you guys are going to have to stay tuned.
Stay tuned. So we are back. And my number one question is, what is the difference between parenting then versus now? Because these kids is crack. Okay.
Yes, I feel like the difference is back in the day, the village was raising your kid. Your neighbor over here, your neighbor to the left, your neighbor to the right. They were able to say, Sally, sit down. Sally, go home. Don't eat that. Leave that little boy alone. I'm beating your behind. Nowadays,
I'm telling your mama.
Exactly. Nowadays, people don't want you to say nothing to their kids. They don't want you to beat their kids. They don't even want you to look at their kids. They definitely don't want you talking about their kids.
Period.
So, I think that is really the difference. Nowadays, it's like you're not really getting the village support that people got back in the day.
I agree. I don't feel like the parents nowadays are as like strict as they used to be.
No, they're not.
Like,
They're trying to be their kids' friend.
Yeah, we used to be like off the phone. You did something bad, you ain't going. Don't touch. Don't ask about it. Don't tell me nothing. I don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like Now it's like, no, run free, Charlie.
Exactly, because they're so. I feel like a lot of people are more interested in having a good relationship with their children that they want to let them kind of like do whatever they want to do. I totally disagree with that. I am not your friend.
Right.
One day I may be your friend.
Remind us.
You can have a friend in me, but I'm not your friend. I'm not trying to be your friend. This episode should be good because a lot of people don't agree with me with that.
Yeah.
They feel like, oh, you could be your kid's friend.
No, you can't.
Well, I think the lines get very easily blurred, and even if you don't realize they're getting blurred, in their mind, they're like, oh, my mother don't care about this. Oh, my mother don't care about that. And I think that's a huge
standard
issue. I think that's a huge issue.
Most definitely.
For sure.
Do you believe in beating your kids, sparing the rod, spoiling the child?
I feel like to each his own. If you want to beat your kids, you beat your kids. If you feel like I'm not saying beat them bloody, like all these crazy people out here doing.
That's just
I'm not saying put whips and all that kind of stuff on your children. But if you need to do a little pop, then you can get a little pop. I would. Listen,
it worked for me.
Gia be looking at me like I'm crazy, and I'll be like,
looking at you like, don't tell me nothing.
Exactly. I'll pop her little hand a little bit so that she can resonate in her head that I'm the one who's in control.
Yeah, most definitely. I agree with that. So one thing that I would say is, there is a very fine line, especially in America, because if you live in other countries, you can do what the hell you want. You know what I'm saying? But it's a very fine line in America, and I feel that if you have like problems and issues and anger and all that different stuff, then maybe you should like take a minute before you have kids. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
I think that it's important for people to be like, am I ready for this?
Look yourself in the mirror and say, self, am I ready for children? and sit there and wait for yourself to answer the question.
No, like seriously,
okay?
because you know what? Like these people be having kids like I just see way too much of mothers talking to their kids crazy.
But tell about the picture you sent me the other day.
Okay, so guys, I work in an apartment community, and I know that you guys are probably watching. But I work in an apartment community, and I promise you, there's an apartment on the 6th floor. 6th floor. This is the top floor, mind you. And they had a baby sleeping out there on a blanket on the balcony. I was so disturbed. You're just like nothing to me.
Trifling.
I try to think of all the different things that you could have been doing. Like maybe the child had jaundice, you wanted to be in the sun. I don't know. You know, I'm thinking about every goddamn. I really am. There's nothing to excuse that.
Baking your kids.
I'm telling you, baking the child, she out there like a baked egg. You know what I'm saying?
That's not funny.
I'm
so messed up.
And then there's another person, like another lady that come in there, and every time that child blink, you blink your mouth, you're clearly angry. Like you need Iyanla, okay? And
fix my life.
Yeah, like your child is not do. They're a child, and they're gonna play. They're not gonna sit in the office and sit still and be tight. Like they're not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be ready, guys. Like exactly. I know that I'm not ready. I want to sleep, and I'm tired. So, exactly. You know what I'm saying? I need a minute, and then I won't be as selfish.
So, what I want to get into is, I want to get into parent shaming. You know what I'm saying? And we just shamed that parent just now. We don't know why she had that child outside on the balcony. That's a little far-fetched. So, you know, I just want to talk about the fact that what you think a good parent is not necessarily what a good parent may be for the next person. So I feel bad for a lot of celebrities who, you know, they're like, she's a mom and she's doing that. The other day I seen that Natalie Nunn, shout out to her. I watched her pregnancy journey and I was just so infatuated. That's how I honestly fell in love with her, by watching her pregnancy journey and, you know, her breastfeeding journey and all of that. Her baby's a little older now and she's outliving her life. She's still Natalie Nunn. There's a difference between Natalie Nunn the person and Natalie Nunn the mom. So I don't feel like it's fair for you guys to attack her so hard because she's twerking, because it's 2019. Everybody's twerking. Grandma's even twerking. So if she want to twerk, that's her business. That doesn't mean she's not a good mom. I think she's a really great mom, and it's really her business what she wants to do. Yeah, you know, one of my favorite moms though,
Masika, I love her.
We are loving you, Masika, over here on the Rhea and Lady G show. Make sure you come visit us when you're in Atlanta.
I'll cook for you, girl.
Yes, like, we love.
And you a fellow
Masika.
Gemini.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, she's a Gemini. I think her and Fetty actually got the same birthday.
Really?
Well, yeah, they do. Yep. So I love Masika, and I feel like, you know, I've always liked her because her clapbacks are real, but her parenting skills, you can just see the love, the naturalness for that child. It's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Speaking of that, we'd like to shout out Keisha Cole.
Keisha Cole. I beat the shade room to that tea last night.
Yes, get So Keisha Cole, and then Eva Pickford. Her pregnancy announcement was beautiful.
It was.
Speaking on Keisha Cole though, she is still married. So,
really?
Yeah, she is still married, and you know, how I feel about that is, I mean, he was cheating. Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
I mean, you know, spiritually, like my God side tells me that's not right. You're still like, you know, bound to him pretty much.
Right, but my natural side says, listen, okay, who I didn't sign the paper, if I signed it, if I didn't sign it, I've moved on. Let me live my life and be great. Now, Keisha Cole, go get the little divorce or whatever so that the world could think you're doing the right thing. But honestly, okay, she's been separated from him forever.
That is true. But I mean, at the same time, like, how close would you want a step mom or dad to be to your child?
Listen, here we go again with this topic.
Sorry.
I am a step parent, and my stepson is like my son. I'm going to treat him, talk to him, look at him, focus on him the same way that I would if my child who came out of my womb, okay? So
I definitely agree with that. The one thing I would say is, I'm not a parent, but I would love when people use discretion. Like, for example, like discretion with introducing your loved one to your child, and discretion when, like, you have a baby and you just pop the baby out and now the baby's on Instagram and Facebook.
Please give that baby Sorry to cut you off.
No,
I'm
for
so
real.
passionate about this. Please give that baby time to see, the eyes to focus, because it's
The lungs to breathe. Like, give it a minute. You know what I'm saying?
at least
like,
a month. It was hard for me too, because I'm a social media person. Like, everybody like to say, oh, I don't do social media. Well, I do social media.
I'll take it 3 months.
I
period.
love social media.
3 months.
At least do a month. If you could do 3 months, do it. Give the child to get into its look. You know
I
what I'm
actually
saying?
know someone that waited to get their baby christened before they put them on social media. And that's a very Caribbean thing, because you know what, they be doing people pictures.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, get discretion, everybody. And that pretty much wraps up our parenting session. I hope you guys like, comment, subscribe, share.
Have a happy Mother's Day.
That as well. And we'll see you next week.